Always great to have with us Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Debbie, good to have you back with us.
It's great to be here. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, look, tonight, the big night, State of the Union. Are you planning on being there?
I'm planning on being there and listening to what President Biden says.
So I'm curious to get your take on the State of the Union. I wrote a column earlier today saying it was a dumpster fire. What say you?
I agree with you. It is the State of the Union is in a crisis. It's in a crisis because gasoline, grocery, and energy prices are soaring. Crime has risen through the roof. There's a number of U.S. cities, over a dozen, where the murder rates are very high. The border is wide open. I'm from a border state. I've been down to the border a few times, and the policies from Biden and the Democrats are open border policies. Fentanyl is flooding across the southern border, killing our kids. War is broken out in Ukraine. The Republicans asked President Biden months ago and then weeks ago to give military reinforcements, guns, that type of thing to Ukraine, and Biden refused, and now they're having trouble getting the actual military equipment and the guns into Ukraine because it's a little late now. And you're right. It's a dumpster fire, and we can't forget all of the promises that Biden has put forth in the past and failed. I mean, remember when he said to the American people? I remember it clearly. He said he promised he would not leave one American behind in Afghanistan, and then he did. He promised that he wouldn't have a vaccine mandate, and then he did. I mean, this guy, you cannot rely on him. So tonight when he's talking, I will listen clearly, but quite honestly, I don't know that I'll believe him because he hasn't followed through with the other promises he's made.
Here we are facing $10 for a pound of bacon, which a lot of people thought was, just beyond the pale. Then came gas prices that are upwards of $6 in some places across America, and they thought that was bad. And now we're facing possible being vaporized by a nuclear bomb. And you wonder, okay, this is the first. We're not even talking about the first 2 years of the Biden administration. You really shudder to think what's coming next.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And in scary times, can I just tell you, it is very scary times. One of our Republican Congress members is Victoria Spartz, and she's from Ukraine. And she was telling us how she has a 95-year-old grandmother that's still over there. She's talking to people on the ground, and that the Putin and their troops, their goal is to kill civilians. And so they've witnessed women and children being killed, women and children being ordered to stand in front of the Russian tanks to be run over. This is
has that been verified?
It's not war. This is genocide.
Has that been verified? I mean, do we have any kind of verification of those accounts?
We've asked her, and I know our leadership, Kevin McCarthy, has asked if she can get us videos. So she's attempting to get videos from the people on the ground. But I believe her. She's very. It made me cry, quite frankly, the things that she was saying. I had tears in my eyes. It's atrocious. And to think that we in the United States are still importing oil from Russia and paying Russia about $75 million a day to import their oil. We're funding this genocide. It's awful, and I call on President Biden to stop importing Russian oil, and let's make it our own. Let's make it on our own instead of stopping oil and gas production in the United States like Biden has been doing. Let's increase our production because we're capable of doing it.
Debbie Lesko, a Congresswoman from the great state of Arizona on the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. Congresswoman, I'm curious what you're hearing from constituents in your district when it comes to Ukraine and what the Americans should or should not do.
Well, people are understandably worried. I mean, this is something that hasn't happened for almost 80 years, and so they're worried. Now, they don't want us to put our troops and combat in Ukraine with the Russians because that would lead to another world war, and we don't want that. But there are actions that we can do. And one of the things that we can do is continue to provide more arms, more defense to the Ukrainian people who are fighting so hard. And as I said, it's very disappointing that President Biden refused a Republican request to give those arms over earlier so that Ukrainians could have had them in their hands earlier than waiting till the last minute. And now there's reports that they're having a hard time getting all of that stuff in through Poland. And so it's some trying times. And you add that on top of all of the other things that are happening in the United States, and now you understand why Biden's polling numbers are so low.
It makes sense. We've got about 20 seconds here, Congresswoman. What do you want to hear the president say tonight?
I want to hear him say that he's going to stop importing Russia oil, and that we're going to produce our own oil and gas because we have the capacity here in the United States. I want to hear him say that he's really going to close the border, because he's not. He's an open border guy. He's done it on day one, and I want to close the border. Arizonans, Texans, all of America deserve a protected border in a safe America.
All right, Congresswoman, we're going to have to leave it there. Debbie Lesko, we will see you on TV later tonight in the House chamber.